off with the minutes. Did everyone have a chance to read over the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah.
Does anybody want to make a motion? I do apologize, those of you who are zooming in, like, make a large gesture.
I can't.
There we go, John is. John is.
Yeah, we each have our own
John
sign.
was a second. All right, those all in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. All right, we will take the minutes as approved. And move on to the update on the Douglas Hill
I know.
redevelopment.
Is it this?
Who among us was pleased to see Webster Groves on the front page of the Post-Dispatch?
But the map made it look like the sculpture park is out.
Well, I should hope so, although I don't know. Jerry, do we have news or?
The TIF map has the sculpture park in it as part of the
Here's the
TIF project.
Yeah,
So in other words, that's bad.
that is bad.
I mean, it's in it, meaning it's out of, okay.
It's in it.
It's,
Half of it's in it, right?
Half of it's in it. And
so they could do anything with it. Okay.
yes,
Creepy.
I'm speechless at that point,
So-
but what do we do about that? I mean, is there a?
So what is the status of Douglas Hill?
the status is this. It is going through the zoning commission now. And if you want to participate or say what you need to say, then put in some comments. It's going through the zoning commission. They'll end up making a recommendation probably sometime soon to city council. The TIF commission is on its way. They are looking at all the costs and benefits, and they will have a public hearing soon. Anyhow, all of this should culminate so that in December, the city council will have a redevelopment agreement. And that redevelopment agreement, if it is voted on yes by city council, the project will go forward. And if it's voted no, the project will not go forward.
So as
So
far
that
as,
will all
as
happen in December.
far as like an increase in the sales tax and some of the things that like cost taxpayers, at what point is that decided? Prior to the vote?
The TIF commission will decide on how much money from the property tax will be allocated to a TIF. I don't know if you know, what a TIF does is it sets a baseline for what the current real estate tax is. And then anything over that goes to help pay for the project. So you anticipate that for 23 years, the amount of real estate tax that is collected today is the same amount that will be collected will go to the cities 23 years from now.
But if the thing can't make a profit on its own, why should we help them pay for it?
Well, because the TIF is done so that you can pay for infrastructure, you can pay for demolition, you can pay for all those things, so that what the TIF technically would pay for is all the infrastructure, the new roads, the new gas, the water lines, all the new stuff along Shady Creek, all of that would be paid for through a TIF.
Is it true that the deadline, because it's a floodplain, to get TIF like approval has to be before December 31st?
Exactly, and that's why this redevelopment agreement will come up for vote in December.
Do you have a read?
I've been listening to the planning commission meetings. I sat in at their last TIF meeting. There seems to be in the community a lack of support.
I haven't heard of anyone that's for it.
No, me neither.
I'm not for it.
No, I think that's the thing.
No.
I know,
And of
I
course,
know a number, I do know a number of people that are for it, but it seems like no matter what it said, they don't back off of what they want, what the developer has to have. seems like a compromise, you would get a lot more people to be for it, you know?
Well, what he's saying, the developer, Larry Chapman, is saying it's either he needs those, 770, 90, whatever it is, apartments to make this viable.
I think that's just to make it viable for them, for him, you know?
Uh-huh.
He might get more support from the city if it was, I mean, from the people, if it was scaled back to not being so enormous.
That's
And then
huge.
I guess it's not worth his while financially, so
And
he's,
it's not,
Yeah, he's not
it's not for him, it doesn't work. We're also hearing from a lot of the property owners now, because the word out there has been, nothing has been done in that area for 30 years. They keep repeating that, and it's not true. If you go over there, there are many businesses that have invested a huge amount of money on the inside. That Windows building is absolutely gorgeous. The gym center employs 60 people, serves 1,000 kids a week. So in the apartment building at the end is actually more affordable housing here, because these are apartments that are more affordable than a lot of other places. So, and Peter Frayne, who owns the Marine building, which
That's
most people
beautiful.
pay,
Yeah.
he's put hundreds of thousands of dollars into that building. So the interiors have been pretty good. There's some messy places over there, and I don't know, maybe eventually the community will looking to do something with the messy places and maintaining and upgrading some of the infrastructure amenities there. What they're saying to me is, we don't have streetlights, we don't have sidewalks, that if the city upgraded the amenities in that area, maybe we could do something.
Will they have the power of eminent domain?
They're asking for it, yes.
Yuck.
And that'll be up to the council as to whether the council will grant them eminent domain or not.
That's a pretty big step.
It is.
those are viable businesses.
I know, yeah.
Well, it's not, I mean, according to that, it's not really a blighted area. So yeah, you'd be tearing down whatever was going to organically happen, for something that you would be superimposing on at a development. So maybe if the city could put roads in and lights and sidewalks, maybe it would take its own time to build into something.
Mhm.
You still have the Shady Creek.
I mean, I assume the Arts Commission role in this process is like way down here at the, I wasn't at the last meetings, but
We had some meetings with them, and it was just sort of a fluffy little committee that
yeah.
has its little input.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's nowhere near in terms of its process about where other than the pre-existing sculpture park, there's probably interest in some types of arts and culture amenities inserted within, but it's like.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, Larry has announced that they're putting in musical chairs.
What?
And that they're putting in all kinds of interesting arts projects in there. Yes, he has announced that at one of the meetings.
I'm sorry,
I did
what's
Tiffany
what's musical chairs?
Do you sit and they play music?
I have no
do
clue.
we want musical chairs?
I mean, but he,
That's funny.
yeah.
I had the sense that they
This
looked
is
to
what
that
people want.
section of the park, of the sculpture park, as a source of sculpture that could be put around in other venues.
Yeah, like an expansion of.
Well, no, that he would.
They would
use the
move it.
pieces there, remove them.
And use them in his,
He's
like,
all about that.
From my cold dead hands.
Those belong
Oh, I
to
would
the city.
advocate for an expansion of, the pre-existing and an expansion of more.
Jan wants to.
But if he is a contractor or a developer, is his expertise in this area in regards to the sculpture? Where is he getting his information? Shouldn't the Art Council have something to say about what he decides that he thinks should be in there? Shouldn't the citizens have something to say about it since they live here?
This is some European company he's been talking to about musical chairs.
But again, doesn't somebody get a vote about that, or does he just get?
I mean, I would imagine he can't just take the art that both belongs to us and doesn't belong to us like the ones that are leased from, or that are on loan from the county. And just move it somewhere.
I don't know. It'll depend on where that map is and
If
what
it's
is
not city prop.
granted to him in the redevelopment agreement.
Oh, Lord.
This is so typical of government today, all the way from the state to here. The people are solidly against it, and yet it just keeps grinding on. I mean,
Well, there are
sounds like
the
that would be the planning.
It has to go through the process.
Don's.
yeah, the development perks obviously are the size and the tax base for the city, and that's why I think the city still approves it. But they haven't addressed the biggest elephant in the room is the traffic issues.
Yeah.
I think even when we talk arch and all the details and streetscape, I think they have bigger fish to fry, including the impact to traffic. And everyone sat on that hill with traffic, with the railroad going by, all the way down to Kirkham as it's dead stop. And they're proposing that we add 1,000 more cars to that every morning and every evening. Can't imagine what impact that'll have on the entire neighborhood.
Isn't that wall along Shady Creek essentially saying that Webster is turning its back on North Webster? I mean, it's almost like a castle wall, you know.
From there, exactly.
The city's.
You have to scale that wall.
City stops here, yeah.
There would be a parking, a lot more cars, people in the apartments, so you would have a parking lot. So that would definitely more cars, more traffic, right?
Did you guys see the flooding through there?
Yeah.
Yes.
It made the news.
It was like rapids. Yeah.
So in terms of the official like business of the Arts Commission, do we just, I mean, I guess we can't really do anything except comment.
I mean, what could the commission write a letter to the planning commission? Or like,
Yes,
yeah,
surely you can.
yeah.
Okay.
You
could to the planning commission,
Yeah.
the TIF commission,
Yeah.
whatever, and
Can somebody help me with that?
Yeah.
Can we put together a draft and send it around and make sure?
Yeah, I'm happy to help you with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody who's better at words than I
you're
am.
fine with that.
Well, somebody draft.
All right.
Line copied, and so nobody's responding to each other, and they're only responding to me, right?
Yes, of course.
And it would be addressed to the planning.
To the planning commission, there's a
And
planning-
we'll work out the details.
and the TIF
Yeah.
commission, and I'm just looking up for all of you, if you want to watch the meeting. Next planning commission meeting is the 13th at 6 o'clock. And the TIF commission, the next one is the 15th, also at 6 o'clock.
Stand back, everybody. The Arts Commission is weighing in on
I
this.
know.
Watch out, everybody.
Throw our
We've
weight
got
around.
something to say.
I'll see if I can figure out where I saw the map so that you can use that as a base for the letter so that it, you can see that, I think it's the TIF map that comes through and just.
So that our letter is not addressing all of the issues. Our letter is addressing what comes under our purview.
He's
Yes, a letter
continuously
from us.
ignored, promised that he would include would take the sculpture park out, and at least 3 times, I think, has gone ahead anyway and included.
What he wants.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I'll tell you what, we will, and maybe, I don't know, if Beth, maybe if we can, or Jerry, I don't even have a concept in my brain of what this letter would look like, but maybe if we can kick some ideas around and come up with something, we'll send it out to the larger committee, we can, before, I guess,
I'm
the
willing to
13th.
draft the first go and then.
Okay,
Would you, that would be wonderful.
and
Thank you.
we don't really want musical chairs. Tell them we don't want musical chairs.
And I guess
You
we're,
just always used to lose at musical chairs.
This whole thing has been musical chairs. That piece of art is a metaphor for this whole process.
Oh, no.
we're aimed at
Oh,
the
that's
13th.
What's the music
Well, yeah, I'm
stop?
looking, I'm trying to see if they've got their agenda up yet, because I know for their meeting on the 31st, they had a deadline
Yeah, to submit.
to
comments.
submit comments that would be read in,
See, we need to hit whatever that deadline.
and so that's what I'm looking for. But if I don't find it here, I'll text tomorrow.
Okay.
You know how sometimes, like, Has there been any talk of like a referendum that would have probably nothing binding where the people vote?
Yes, here's what happens. A referendum happens only after an ordinance is passed, okay? So in December, if the council approves the redevelopment agreement, that'll be done in an ordinance. Then you can have a referendum.
But that requires how many signatures?
It will
right?
require
It's 10% of the last
elect.
election, but I think it's still the last council election, so it would be last June's election.
There's like a couple
I
of
think.
thousand or less people. wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean, it'd be the same as what the number was for the petition for the last
But
one.
then was that solid enough that they would be able to get the TIF because of the deadline? If there was a pending referendum?
That's an interesting
Can they
question.
start digging the day
Daughter of
after
an
the
attorney.
council? Can they start digging with bulldozers the day after the ordinance passes?
And it becomes something of a moot point.
I don't think so. I think you'd be smart not to.
Yeah.
dig- Well, first of all, he can't dig anything until he buys all the property.
Yeah, he's gotta buy it and negotiate
So
that.
he's-
and-
Yeah.
And that, he's gonna have to go through negotiation. And so if I own a building over there and I don't wanna agree to this, then I'm gonna get thrown into the eminent domain process, which is going to take quite a long period of time to be able to do that. So now,
This could be years even after.
well,
Been years.
yeah. it's-
I mean, like this is a city where there are referendums about midriffs,
I know.
I would think that we could.
Yeah.
Okay,
It'll
so,
happen.
so
I'm certain it'll
Judy,
be-
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm certain there'll be, and if there's a pending referendum, which is like, has to be within 90 days?
Has to be within 15 days.
No, I mean that we have to put it on the ballot.
Oh, I think maybe so.
Yeah.
So it would all get wound into that August election.
So we will
No.
move forward with that.
Okay.
Or I mean,
No.
April.
It might even be February, depending on timing.
Yeah, could be February.
All right, okay.
Hold
So,
on.
so stay tuned for further updates.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've
Oh.
texted Mara to see about the timing for the letter.
Good, thank you. Thank you. So moving along, and I'm sorry, I apologize for rushing, but I need to be gone at 9, so.
I'm sorry,
Trying to-
and that's
trying
on me for.
To step this up a little here. Do we have a quick recap on the Piano Fest? Thank you, Patrick, that was amazing.
No, Jerry and Mike
Jerry
Silverman
Mike
and
Silverman, yes,
everyone.
it was-
No, it went
pretty
well.
cool.
It went wonderfully. The crowd was maybe a little smaller than last year, but not much smaller. And the musicians were happy. The Mason people sold ice cream and hot dogs and they were happy. The crowd came. It's gotten to the point where, thank you also to Mike Silverman, who put so many resources and money and connections with his musical connections. It just went wonderfully, and everybody said this is just a lovely night. And it's another example of these concerts that are sort of spontaneous in Webster, like Burr Oak or. So it went well. One question I have, sort of, in terms of like, do we still have money?
I need to check on that. I need to
Yeah,
talk
'cause
to,
we
because
need to
our
pay
budget
him.
program changed
We kind of need
a
to
long time
pay,
ago.
we need to
And
pay,
not a long time ago. Our budget program changed like a year ago. And I need to find the instructions to get into it. It's just not a thing that I do. It used to
yeah,
be just
because
an
we should
Excel
be
file.
reimbursing Mike.
Yeah.
I'd like to put in
Yeah,
for porta potties,
yeah.
you know?
We budgeted for that last year though, didn't we? Because didn't we budget like?
Well,
5,000?
last year it got taken out. I don't know what happened this year.
Could we institute some sort of commission award for an outstanding civic gesture, civic thing for the arts? Because we have the lifetime achievement of it, but this, we should, this is extraordinary what Mike's done.
Yeah.
It seems there would be a nice way to recognize it.
I think we should definitely give that some thought. Also, we had a conversation with Mike and I said, of some people on the commission, Mike, you're sort of an abstraction, this wonderful abstraction. And he said, well, I'd really like to come to a meeting and meet people and say hi and,
He's gonna have to get up at 8 in the morning.
yeah, and we said, we'd love to thank you in person and, but I think that's a really good thought.
Actually, I really like that idea. What do we just vote that we're awarding people something, or do we have to go through some approval process to?
I think we could do anything we want.
So we don't have time today, but maybe we think about it and maybe
What if we, what if we created like a title, like Ambassador of the Art of the
Yeah.
art, something?
Uh-huh.
And you could award them that, and it's something they have for a year or, a determined period of time, but then they also listed on the roll someplace as having been an ambassador of the arts at Webster, and
Can we?
that
have
could
an
could
artist
build
award?
up to where maybe in the future you could have, a party for everybody who was ever an ambassador or something, you could build on it, but it could be.
I like that a lot because it's a way of kind of involving and creating a group of people
Yeah, yeah.
and extending our
It
reach.
gives us- it could give us in the future a support, that's kind of not the commitment of a commission member, but then people that, could be utilized for other things as members of these ambassadors.
I think that's a great idea, John. And every time we give the lifetime achievement, they say, I'm not old enough to get a lifetime achievement. This ambassador of the arts could be for that.
Well, yeah.
The minor league team for
That's
that.
right. Farm team.
If you only did one thing, one great thing, like donated a piece of sculpture, for instance, you could get that,
Yeah.
and
I think
maybe,
it's great.
You could also lump it, I mean, I'm not saying that the lifetime achievement isn't a solid award in itself, but like, if sometimes we have fun struggling, like, okay, who should be lifetime achievement? If it was just like every October we honor someone in the arts, whether it's lifetime achievement or a ambassador in the arts, and then you would have people come to, like, instead of having it be totally separate, almost expand the award category to include people who are maybe doing something currently
Yeah,
that maybe don't
yeah.
feel like they want a lifetime achievement.
they're not gonna, they do other things as well. So to that person, it's another something that they've achieved and
Or we
accumulated.
could do it for the
Yeah.
honorees.
I do just one other thought, because some of the people, and everybody brought this up in a very friendly, nice way, but participants at the concert. But I think it's something we should give some more thought to as we plan this and other things like this. People were saying, why are there no African Americans at this concert? We're playing jazz, we're playing music that has appeal across racial lines. And it's a really good question. And as to whether people, I can't believe that people don't feel comfortable coming to the center of the city and participating in a music concert. I would suggest that maybe next time we make more of an effort to market it.
Well, we've also talked about having representation of North Webster on this commission.
We really, really
We
need that.
really should, and, going to the Barbary Park, I mean, there's certainly, they learned a lot about, I think, sort of art and the role.
Yeah, we got an all-white art commission, right?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
so that's just something that I think we should think about. Like an occasion like that, music is what's supposed to bring everybody together. To use that as a way to, build community.
That's a good point.
And if there's anything that wasn't perfect about this, that's probably it. And I think there was something we can do about it, or at least try. And I don't think we're really trying right
Could we do a function in Barbary Park?
now. I think it's a great idea. Mike Silvermoon would cart his drums and piano over there, for sure.
Sort of across the street from him.
Yeah,
I think
well,
that's a
actually
great
it
idea.
is.
Plus,
Yeah.
maybe his neighbors would write letters to the editor complaining.
Yeah.
I mean, every other organization in America right now is talking about diversity
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, yes.
and
Not
extending
so long.
it itself.
But we wouldn't do that before we had representation from North Webster, because otherwise it'll just look like we've decided this. is
The
what
white
we're
people are
doing.
coming with their
Yeah.
music, yes.
Right, it has to be.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree.
John
I
did-
think if the good example is just to move some concerts or something into North Webster.
Mhm.
Ivory Crockett Park is coming up on
Yeah.
the schedule today, so maybe there's some place over there that could have
Actually, I was just gonna say that.
Ivory Crockett Park.
That's a nice segue into our next item. Again, sorry, pushing it along here.
Well, let's go
But
there.
let's go there. The Ivory Crockett Park, I know they're meeting to try to determine what to do with that park.
Yeah, so they're having a meeting Wednesday, and it's open to the public. It's called like popsicles in the park, yeah. And they're looking for input, and there's also a survey on the website that they put together. They're looking for input on what people want to see at the park. But I had been talking, and I think we talked before about like maybe a mural or something like that down there. And so I called Scott to see if we had any input, if they would. And so he said if we thought we wanted to include something like that, he would mention it to them tomorrow at the big meeting or whatever. So I wasn't sure if you guys wanted to have your hand in some sort of art element down there, or.
Well, I think it's certainly worth putting it on the table.
It's just all about the space. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, what's the specifics of the space?
I know he
And-
said that there's the whole like structure of the whatever,
Bathrooms.
yes, but I mean, you could do the whole, I mean, you could mural that whole thing and
Yeah.
make it look nice, do something.
As long as it's done in the spirit of we're here to help you if you want the help.
Well,
or
I
if you-
think it would be like, I wonder if you could do something like, the murals that they've done at Art and Air in the past, like, kind of a community mural or something like that.
I mean, this is where your representation can also come into play too, as it pertains to hiring an artist or a person of color. or
I
something
don't know
like
if you all have seen Maypop Garden Shop. They just had a mural done inside and an African-American young man did it, and it's gorgeous and it's really, really cool looking.
I
It's
mean,
like,
where
there's
is that?
incredible
Maypop.
art students at
Where is
Webster
that?
University, like.
Yeah.
so,
it is
you know,
at
you can pull
Summit
from that, too.
and
Marshall.
It's a garden.
You haven't been to Maypop? Oh, sorry,
Oh,
no.
it's
Oh my
wonderful.
gosh, yes.
Oh, yes, I have. one. I have.
That's where I got my rickrack
Yes,
cactus.
yes, yes. Well, we also might want to think that our last open space in the sculpture park, that we make sure that that is done by an artist of color.
The side of that bathroom building, it's a building, and the bathrooms are in there, but there's other stuff in there too. That could be a very cool place to do. a
Oh,
mural,
yeah, I mean, I
because
think
a
right now
big
it's just like
space.
cement block, isn't it?
It's cement
Yeah.
block, it would be a really cool space to do a good mural.
There's also artists that do participatory kind of public community
Yeah,
engagement
right.
murals, right? So
Mhm.
it is not only an event, but it's also like a permanent thing that occurs, right?
Mhm.
So you can hit a lot of these birds with one stone,
Mhm.
if you choose the right, or if you think about the right artist.
Where the artist coordinates kids and
Yeah,
citizens. and-
yeah, it could be a part of the school. I mean, if you want to go in that route, like, me personally, I start to kind of go, in terms of quality, if it's done by kid, it's just this, it's a question, if you want to go into
Well,
that.
there are community engagement artists who work that. I mean,
Right, right.
Well, the first step would be asking what the people who live around
I
Ivory
was gonna
Crockett
say,
Park
I
want.
think the first step is probably to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
let's put it on the table and see if anybody gets excited about it, because you're right. I mean,
I mean, there might be an artist who lives in North Webster that would be a really good candidate, and having somebody from the community do it would
Yeah.
be a very cool thing versus
Yeah.
bringing somebody in from the outside.
And we could be supportive, but also maybe kind of invisible.
Yeah, right.
So if you go to, or mention that to
Yeah.
Scott, I
Mhm.
think that's something that the Arts Commission would like to explore.
Certainly
Yeah.
support.
So what's the next step?
So Jen's gonna-
I'll tell Scott.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I missed that.
That was the next step.
That was a nice conversation. Okay.
All right, so how are we looking on the walking tour? Are we?
Well, I kind of want to change this to like public art content because that's kind of what I'm working on first. And I think I have around 18 pages of content now that I'm still kind of editing and putting together, and there's still missing pieces and things that are, so I'm trying to kind of identify where those missing pieces are, but I think it's taking me a while. It's just a lot of content to sort through. And we're still missing a couple things. So I still need to go through some of this, find like, kind of make sure that for continuity's sake, it's all looking similar and formatting is similar and working for the website. So then once I have, I'm hoping by next month I'll have that and be able to kind of like pass around what we have and then get people to kind of weigh in on at least getting this up on the website and working with Jennifer to figure out the best way to get that posted and up. So it's still work in progress. Sorry, I feel like it's going at a snail's pace, but
No,
we're
my
getting a
gosh,
little bit.
This
getting
is
a little
such a
bit-
huge project.
And Alex is great in getting content and other people too, and yeah, Judy.
Thank you, guys.
Is there something we're missing that we could find for you?
Well, I need to go, and so there's like, there's some of the Webster U pieces, they're not a lot of like that, those previously were on the website, but Webster U recently is going through like a website redesign, so there was like content that they had online that doesn't exist anymore, and we've been trying to track it down, like, I think Alex has emailed a couple of people, I've emailed communications people over there to be like, this has to exist somewhere, even though you took it down.
Their former communications person works here.
Yeah,
So we
so
can
maybe,
ask her.
maybe ask her what file folder it's in.
Yeah.
Well, just let me know what those pieces are too, because
Yeah.
I had a phone call and he just kind of rattled
Okay.
them off. And then I think I also sent you kind of like a map. You might already had a pre-existing map that
Yeah.
they use on their website.
Yeah.
So I think we can find at least the rest of the Webster University pieces.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll be able to define a little bit more what we're missing. And then it's just like trying to figure out how to make it kind of flow. Because there's certain pieces where we have like artist statements, which is great. We should include those. There's others where we don't. So just like in terms of how to format it so it makes sense and just feels like it's all,
You know, there are two big pieces over in the bank across the street that you may want to think about. That Mrs. What's her name, Dearberg bought, that are fairly well-known artists. I used to know all that at one point. But if you go in there, you will see both of the pieces that are significant.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about that. I think my feeling is like the stuff that we have, trying to get that at least up, and then we can add to it as we get more content. And then moving forward, knowing that as we acquire public art or have it on loan, that this is automatic, that we kind of create this like one sheet about each piece so that we easily can put it on the website. But I imagine that when we first get the content up, it's not going to be every single piece is every single thing. We're just going to take what we have, because otherwise if we wait, it's just going to be, a little bit too lengthy of a process, so. But yes, that's great to know that there's other, we can like add as we go kind of thing.
And let's put the framework in place. It'll be
Then we can use that for
So
whatever we
easy.
want to do moving forward, like and put it into like a walking tour kind of format.
Thank you again and again. And do let us know, I mean, if there's more information or whatever anybody else could pick up and help with. All right, moving on from there to a quick update on the Lifetime Achievement in the Arts. Somebody was communicating.
I blew it.
Ah.
I was supposed to communicate, completely forgot about it. I will do that today.
So we have those 2 days.
We had those two
Yeah.
dates that Rec had on hold, October 29th or November 5th.
I will do that, right?
And the maximum number is 150. That was at that time. Who knows?
I know, maybe back to being virtual.
Who's to say?
Yeah. Okay, well, we will look for more details on that.
Then I'll send that off as soon as I can.
Get to it. And the other one was the update on the railroad trestle mural.
And
Which-
Jones is gonna be in town. We'll see what we
Oh,
can
that
do.
still hasn't happened?
We're still waiting for that. It's at September 26th through the 29th.
Is there any meeting scheduled with the railroad?
No,
No? Is that what you said?
Yes.
there's no meeting.
If there's is there a meeting scheduled with the railroad folks?
No.
I just keep turning this up, but nothing happens. I think I'm just doing this for my own good.
It's just reflex. See those finger skills.
Oh, yeah.
John, I think what I'm hearing is no, but Jerry will see
if we can do that, I'll see if I can get him out here.
Yeah, because they're coming to town anyway, and we'll see if we can kidnap them or something.
I was just, we could, you know, print out as large, I don't know how large we could print out that, you know, the layout of it completed, you know what I mean, just to,
Get him here.
I
Yeah,
think it's gotten quieter.
maybe we could figure out a way to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
project it.
right.
on the-
you could project it, but other, you know, you could.
I love technology.
Yeah,
I love technology.
that's right. And it wouldn't,
We could get it printed out, you know, at FedEx or something for just a couple of dollars.
Just hang it up there so they see it.
We can just get you some signs that you can like hold up.
Yeah, well, yeah, just something to kind of, I don't know, make some sort of a presentation, you know, that's a physical thing. You know, it's like buying a product in the store. Once you got it in your hand, it's halfway sold. So, you know, hand them something to look at and maybe that would imprint in him more. Just an idea.
that would be exciting. All right, well, stay tuned. Stay tuned on that. Great, well, does anybody have anything else we'd like to discuss? Judy, yes.
We should be looking into maintenance in the sculpture park when doing the sign thing, and looking at some of the pieces. The two Armstrovas, the one on the south, right on the west is okay, the one.
Yes, I think that's the one we have to have. We've got a thing to maintain it. I know we've got numbers. We just have to get a time with Yvonne to get him out there to do it.
Terrific. Okay. And we've already got that budgeted
Uh-huh.
for new.
Nice.
All right, very nice.
And what's happened with Catherine Marble and her work that she was supposed to?
That's a good question. She was gonna come back and look.
I
at the
think time and
dates.
COVID.
And COVID. I know she's been very active, so.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the point. She's said a lot of things. She's got now a whole website shop.
Oh, wow.
Catherine Marble.
We had a proposal from her to make those
Yeah.
repairs, and I think Jennifer and I just need to revisit that. I think that's with the city's hands. And Jennifer, is that in the budget?
We still have that money, yeah.
Okay.
So will we lose it?
I keep,
Can we
What's it
review
called?
if it's not-
yeah, we're good. We're good for the next calendar year or the next fiscal year, which is through June for both of those.
Any other announcements, updates?
I heard that there's a porch fest coming in October. Did you guys hear that too?
Is he gonna do it? I know he canceled the World Peace concert, but
I have no clue.
not heard about the Porch Fest. He may well.
I imagine probably because the last one was in the thick of COVID. So I'm
Yeah.
imagining because it's so distant that they're still gonna do it. But I heard that they're planning it for October. So that's just.
Yeah, he did plan it for October the 5th.
Oh, okay.
That's one of our dates.
That was,
No, that's not. I'm sorry,
November,
it's November 5th.
yeah.
But I haven't heard anything more about it. So you're right. It might be delayed or.
I'm sure he'll come to council tonight. He comes, we
Oh,
can
okay.
ask him.
You might be listening now.
That's right.
No.
No. Probably watch the recording. Just one quick update. Webster Arts is opening the next gallery show, actually in the gallery in the basement of Eden. September 14th is the opening, and we're doing an in-person one, but it's gonna be goodie bags. It's called Re-Entry because when we planned it, you know, the vaccinations were taking effect and the numbers were going down and we were all gonna be able to get back out into society.
It's still a
So-
re-entry. We're just entering
We are just
something we weren't anticipating.
Re-exiting. or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, anybody's interested in stopping by to see that.
What time is
When's the opening, Katie?
The opening is September the 14th. I believe it's actually 6 to 8. And it's in the Webster Arts Gallery in the basement of at Schultz Hall over at Eden.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it should be a good show. It's just, it's already dated because it was that moment of freedom that we passed through and came up.
When we blinked,
You know, it's just our
It's just awkward. All right, is there anything else that anyone would like to bring up? All right, so I believe our next meeting is, let me just quickly check here, October the 5th? Does that
Yes.
sound right?
Yep.
Oh. Porch Fest can't be October the 5th, that's a Tuesday.
Yeah,
No, it can't.
that's what she said, that she thought it's November.
Oh, no, thought it would coincide with our date. So that was
Oh,
November
I'm sorry.
3rd.
Maybe it's the third then. It's that Sunday, Sunday.
Yeah, well, Tuesday is the 5th. So yeah, everybody mark your calendars. Is there a chance that we're all gonna be virtual by then, or what's the feeling in? Yeah.
I mean,
well,
this clearly works so well.
stay tuned because flexibility is our watchword, right?
I found Dave Buck's email, Sunday, October 3rd, Porch Fest,
Oh, there we go.
for
Thank you,
beginning at 1 PM. So we just need to verify if it's still on.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you all.
It's 1 minute before 9.
Yeah, I gotta move, so,
Okay, see you at your meeting today.
yeah.
All right,
It
thanks
is
all.
Zoom, right? That's
that-
Zoom.
that one is-
Sorry for the delays and the.
Thank you.
No
mess.
problem. Take care all.
Great, as usual.
happening?